Hi, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Hope you guys are having an amazing start to your day. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. In Coffee with Connie, we try to come to you a couple of times a week to talk to you about things that you may hear or questions you may have about real estate, home mortgages, closing on that home, buying that property, all different questions that we see come up through the home buying and the home closing process. We are a title company that has been around for more than 30 years. And although we don't sell real estate or do mortgages, we've experienced lots of these different questions. So my passion is to come to you with information to try to help you understand some of the processes, the terms, the activities, the things that are going on while you're purchasing that home and things that may happen at closing. So hopefully I can answer those questions. If you have questions that I haven't talked about, feel free to reach out to me individually. Let's talk about it, because these are always things that other people probably have the same question about that's really good for us to share. So the beginning of this year, we've been talking about things, terms that you may see through the process. And today I wanted to talk for a second about the word short sale, because with the home buyers on, the real estate market, tongue-tied this morning. The real estate market's on fire, and buying a home is, the buying home activity is just really active right now. And so a lot of people are looking at those kinds of things because they may seem like a bargain and they may want to purchase that first. So, hey there. Good morning, Miss Karen. Thank you for tuning in and for reaching out. Yeah, I know. I see the sun as well. Finally, thank goodness. So this term short sale is something that you may see or that you may have heard of, and that maybe you just don't understand exactly what that process means. So let's talk about that for a minute. I want to make sure that you understand what that is, or at least get a broad overview. And then when you start working with a real estate agent, you'll have a little bit better understanding, and then you can ask that professional a lot more in detail those questions. So a short sale is when someone owns a home, and this topic is important for buyers and sellers. A lot of times, most of the things we talk about are just for buyers because their side of the process is so much more involved, and there's so many more terms for us to talk about. But, from the seller's aspect, let's talk about that from the beginning just for a second. So from the seller's aspect, the seller wants to sell their home, but they bought that home at the very high end of the real estate market. And the problem is the real estate market crashed, as we all know. Home values were deteriorated a lot from when they originally when they may have originally purchased that property. And so unfortunately, they borrowed enough money to buy that house at that high end. And now that they want to sell that property, they owe a whole lot more than what that home is worth. Now, typically this only happens when you get in a situation where the housing market is on fire and the housing prices increase a lot and you borrow a lot there, and then something happens to that market and then causes all of those home prices to fall. So it's not something that you see a lot, but right now it's happening because a lot of those homes people purchased 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when the real estate market was on fire. And now they owe that amount of money based on that sales price. And the problem is that they can't sell it for that price. So the lender may consider doing what's called a short sale. And what happens is the lender is actually going to agree to take less of a repayment than they are actually owed. And so obviously, as you can imagine, they don't do this lightly. And so if you're on the sales side, typically you need to be in a financial hardship situation, because they want to say, well, if you owe $200,000 and you can only sell for $170,000, we want that other $30,000 because you still owe that money to us. Now, if you're in a situation where you're in a very difficult situation and you need to move, maybe you have shown that you can't afford to make those monthly payments continually, you have to apply to that lender to get them to approve to do this short sale, to agree to take less. Basically, they are getting shorted on how much money that they owe. So you're buying that, or you're selling that house on a short sale because you're shorting how much that mortgage repayment's going to be. So on a seller's perspective, you have to apply, and I recommend that you make some calls. You start talking to your lender about what that process is. Now, every lender is different in that process, but there are a lot of similarities. it's a process that takes some time. So just because you want to sell your house and you can only sell it for less than you actually owe, that isn't qualify enough for that lender to say, yeah, I agree to write off $30,000, $50,000, $10,000, whatever that happens to be. They have a process that you need to go through that definitely takes some time. Now, on the buyer's perspective, if you see a house that's listed as a short sale, sure, it's going to be a little bit less expensive than probably a similar home on the market that that the owners aren't in an upside down situation. But more than likely, if a person is in a situation where they have a short sale, it may be a lot of repairs that need to be done to that house. There may be a lot of requirements that have to be met in order for the lender on the seller side to agree to approve this sale. And so where you may be able to buy another home that's a little bit more expensive, the seller in that case may be able to afford to pay some closing for you. You're buying that house a little bit more, where on the short sale side, maybe you don't have that opportunity to have the closing built in. And so maybe you don't have enough cash to come up with what all those closing costs are in the sale that is not a short sale. There may be an opportunity to have some of that built in so that you can afford that in a different way. So there's a lot of different things about a short sale or not a short sale that you need to talk to your real estate professional about. But know that when you start working on buying a property that is a short sale, it is more than likely going to take you a lot longer to get from contract to getting those keys, because that lender on the seller side has a lot of requirements that have to be met. And some of those take some time, some paperwork, some applications, some due diligence, some inspections, a lot of things that may need to go on that don't happen in a traditional sale. And so know that it's going to take you a little bit longer to get that reduced price on that home, to get from that contract to getting those keys. So maybe I gave you a little bit of food for thought. As I said, I am not a real estate professional. We just have had lots of experience with these processes and lots of questions. So I have enough information to have the beginning conversations to hopefully spur some questions that you may have. When working with a real estate professional, that person is going to be knowledgeable in the intricate details of what needs to happen if you're on the selling side of that short sale or the purchasing side of that short sale. And so that person is totally equipped to take care of that for you. Just make sure that you understand what that process looks like so you're not disappointed halfway through the process that it's taken a lot longer than you expect. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of information today, food for thought. If you felt like you got some good information today, please click that share button. That really helps us be able to share our information with others that you may know. It may spur some questions that other people have. That is totally my goal and my passion, is to educate you with just enough information so that you understand there are questions that you can ask and where to get that information answered, or those questions answered and that information from. At Foote Title Group, we're very specific about making sure things are done correctly, that you are in the loop every step of the way, and that we educate you as best as we can. So with that said, there is lots of resources on our website about a lot of these topics. If you go to the buyers or the sellers tab, go down to the resources tab and click on that. There's all kinds of information there. If there's something that's not there that you think we need to talk about, let me know, because I'm constantly updating that information as well. So I hope you guys got a little good information today. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thank you for tuning in for Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.